Okay. Consider the following statements regarding the demands of moderates and extremists in the Indian national movement. So the moderates demanded complete independence from British rule and launched the civil disobedience movement in 1905. Okay. The extremists rejected the India's cultural symbol and focused solely on the constitutional reforms within British framework. Okay. The extremists emphasized Swaraj, economic self-reliance, and promoted Swadeshi, boycott of British goods and indigenous industries. Which of the following is correct? Here, consider the following statements regarding the demands of moderates and extremists. What were the demands of moderates and extremists? Now we know who are the moderates, who are the extremists. The moderates demanded complete independence from British rule and launched the civil disobedience movement in 1905. Did the moderates demand complete independence? Obviously not. The moderates, they were the people who focused on constitutional methods. Okay. And here, by the time period of the civil disobedience movement, okay, it was not launched in 1905, but in 1930. Okay, so the first statement itself is wrong. The extremists rejected the Indian cultural symbols and focused solely on constitutional reforms. Were the extremists like this? No, the extremists, they were not constitutional, but they were extra constitutional. That is what the extremists were. Okay, so that is why this is also incorrect. The extremists emphasized on Swaraj, economic self-reliance, and promoted Swadeshi, boycott British goods and Indian indigenous industries. So this you can correlate with the Swadeshi and boycott movement that was started by these particular extremist people. Okay, you can correlate it with that. Alright, so here what we can understand is the third statement is correct. So which of the following is correct? Only one. That is the third statement, 3 only, sorry. Given 3 only. Okay, 3 only. No, sorry. It is one statement is only correct. How many statements are correct? So only one statement is correct. Okay. So the option is A. Which of these statements given above? Okay, not only one statement. Which statement is correct? So it is third statement. All right. So from this only we understand that only one statement was to be correct from this. Then the next one is here. Consider the following statements. That is, statement 1, the Arms Act of 1878 was seen as an effort to emasculate the Indian nation. That means to suppress. Okay, that was the emasculate is the negative thing. And then statement 2, the act disarmed Indians with Europeans while Europeans were exempted. Which one of the following is correct? Consider the following statements. So statement 1, the aspect is about the Arms Act. Okay, so the aspect it is about the Arms Act. So the aspect is about the Arms Act. So we have to, Arms Act was seen as an effort to emasculate the Indian nation. Okay, that means to deteriorate the Indian nations, okay, to make the Indians feel inferior. The act disarmed Indians while Europeans were exempted. So the Arms Act, it was only to take, okay, the licenses of Indians kind of holding arms, but it exempted the Britishers. Yes, so both these statements are correct. Okay, so both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains the statement 1. Okay, so the option here it is going to be A, because this is a factual one. Factual, that means it is already there in the notes and you had to just refer to it. So 11th one is A. Then when we talk on the next question, consider the following organizations. How many of the above were formed before the Indian National Congress of 1885? How many were created before the Indian National Congress? Only 1, only 2, only 3, or only 4? So here when we talk, it is going to be what? East India Association, we are quite aware that it was during 1866, okay, by Dadabhai Nauroji. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, it was by M.G. Ranade in the 1870s. Indian Association of Calcutta, again 1870s, and Madras Mahajan Sabha again in 1880s. Okay, so all of these organizations, they were created. They were pre-Congress associations that were there. Okay, so that is why all the 4 are going to be in the pre-Congress associations. All the four are going to be in the pre-Congress associations.